Drew Custer here with a 3-minute look at Adam Grant's new book, Think Again, The Power of Knowing What You Don't Know. How do we remain open-minded in an increasingly polarized culture that demands you take a side? How can we avoid being defensive when our ideas are challenged? How do we avoid dangerous stereotypes? And how can we help others to consider a different perspective while remaining open-minded ourselves? If this sounds interesting to you, then Grant's book is for you. 3 minutes on the clock, please. The book look starts now. Grant writes this book to help readers to stop showing unconditional love to their ideas. Grant introduces us to 3 not-so-humble mindsets popular whenever ideas are discussed. These are the preacher, the prosecutor, and the politician. We slip into preacher mode when our sacred ideas are questioned, so we deliver sermons to protect them. Prosecutor mode is common when we see holes in our opponent's arguments, so we attack to win. Politician mode is popular when we're looking to get a crowd on our side. The problem with functioning in these mindsets is that they're a bit closed-minded. Instead, Grant proposes we have a scientific mindset, which is not concerned with preserving our knowledge, attacking others, or influencing crowds. Scientists ideally are after truth, wherever or whoever it comes from. They experiment and discuss without defensiveness or an agenda. They stay humble and unattached to knowledge. Grant talks about the importance of possessing a confident humility, which means that the source of our confidence is not in our knowledge, but instead in our ability to find the truth. This helps us remain emotionally detached from our knowledge, in other words, open-minded. So we can even find joy in being wrong, because correcting our ideas means that we're less wrong today than we were yesterday. What about when people disagree? We know that conflict will naturally arise when ideas are being discussed or questioned. Grant points out that conflict can be a constructive dynamic in high-performing groups. But there's an important difference between relationship conflict and task conflict. Healthy teams intentionally have conflict around tasks while avoiding making it personal. But what about when we're discussing emotional topics like abortion or gun control? Topics like these seem impossible to discuss without getting heated. Charged topics are hard not only because of their emotional nature, but because of our tendency to oversimplify. We tend to place everyone into 2 opposing camps like good and evil, conservative and liberal. But the truth is that black and white, oversimplified thinking blinds us to the gray, complex nature of knowledge, and it kills constructive conversation where understanding can be found. Grant warns about being a part of idea cults where doubtful dissenters are not welcome. How do you help others be open-minded? Grant reveals a strategy of world champion debaters to help us with this. It might seem counterintuitive, but champion debaters find common ground and remain genuinely curious about how the other side reached their conclusions. The point is that to open someone's mind, you don't have to convince them that you are right, only that they could be wrong, and by humbly listening and remaining open yourself to being wrong. Grant finishes his book writing that rethinking liberates us to do more than update our knowledge and opinions. It's a tool for leading a more fulfilling life. I highly recommend Grant's book. We could all benefit from approaching our opinions and each other with humility and a willingness to think again. If you like this book look, subscribe to this channel to get my future ones.